80 games a year, like both ends of the floor. Just enjoy it. The Golden State Warriors were great. And it's the greatest offensive team I've ever seen play basketball. When KD joined Clay, Steph, Iggy, Steve Kerr, the coach, Draymond Green, as the best offensive team. Best team I've ever seen is Michael Jordan's Bulls. Second best team may be the Showtime Lakers. But offensively, it's the best team I've ever seen. It's insane. You could make an argument they had the three best shooters in the world were on the same team. What? Now, I think there's people that look at it and we're like, oh, well, you know, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. I am kind of disappointed to hear Draymond Green and Kevin Durant talk about the ending in Golden State. And if you haven't heard this, I'm going to play it for you. It's about 50 seconds. You know, they got in an argument. They tried to work it out. And here's how they view it.
It wasn't the argument. It was the way that everybody, Steve Kerr, act like it didn't happen. Bob Myers and tried to just discipline you and think that that would put the mask over everything. I really felt like that was such a big situation for us as a group. The first time we went through something like that, we had to get that all out. We met the next morning, and they said, all right, you slept on it. You ready to apologize? And I told them right then and there, I said, y'all about to this up. I said, the only person that can make this right is me and Kay. And there's nothing that y'all can do, and y'all are going to this up. And in my opinion, they it up. I think so too.
And they told me right then and there, like, we're going to suspend you for this game. I laughed in their face, literally laughed in their face. Nobody effed it up. It was over. And you know who you should blame? Kevin Durant's Achilles heel. Folks, they won back-to-back titles. They were so good, we had to make up a team that could beat them. We went back 20 years to Jordan's Bulls because nobody could compete with them. They won back-to-back titles. They set a record for the greatest regular season team in 5-year stretch, even before KD got there. 5-year stretch. They won 3 titles. If not for Kevin Durant's Achilles heel, they win 4. If not for that Achilles and LeBron's block, they win 5. We had to make up teams that we thought could beat them. And the only one we came around on is Michael Jordan's Bulls. They won back-to-back with KD, Clay, and Steph. They were heavily favored over Toronto, and literally, we all were there. The Warriors fell apart. Clay was hurt. Steph was hurt. Iggy got hurt. And Kevin Durant got hurt. And they were still kind of competitive. Nobody thinks the Miami Heat, 4 years, 2 titles, is a failure. Kobe Shaq, 3 titles, breaks up. It's not a failure. Michael Jordan, both times. 3-peat, both times. The pressure was so much, he retired twice. Like in the modern NBA, with the shoe deals and how big stars get. You got to remember, the NBA back in the 70s, the finals were on tape delay after the 11 They won 3 titles, and if not for the Achilles heel of Kevin Durant, certainly nobody's fault, they win 4. It's magnificent. And they dominated the West. I mean, you see how hard it is for Milwaukee. You see how hard it is for Miami. This is hard for great players. I look at this stuff. They literally set offensive records. They changed the game. People started copying the Warriors, and they didn't even have the personnel to copy them. You'd see teams without elite shooters shooting 30 threes a game, and you're like, you don't have any guys that can shoot a 3. This is nobody's fault. We got to get past that. It was going to end. Salary cap, the bench was thin, Iggy was old, Quinn Cook was playing, rolled the die. These guys have all physically fallen apart since that this dynasty wasn't going anywhere. This was the last year of it, and they would have won, and they were favored to win, and the Achilles heels goes. Appreciate it. Michael Jordan, twice after the 3rd straight, had to shut it down for a variety of reasons. You can pick your reasons. Just shut it down. The fact that for 5 years we got the greatest offensive team in the history of basketball, win for everybody, one Achilles heel, it would have been in the argument for the greatest 3-year team in the history of the league. It was bound to end. All right, little football topic. My wife used to work in HR. It's called human resources. So she interviewed people for a living. And she hired a lot of people for in the restaurant culinary chain business. And as I have aged in broadcasting, one of the pieces of advice she has given me is never mention retirement. Makes you sound old and tired. If you want to work less, say, I spend more time with my family. I've got other things I want to do. I got a hobby. Don't mention the R word. Because nobody wants to hire somebody who's, I can work, Russell Wilson, you have to pull him off the field. Tom Brady, I'll play till I'm 45. Hubie Brown does NBA games at 80. They're trying, you couldn't pull him off the air. Vince Scully till he was 78. Aaron Rodgers admitted on a podcast this week, Dan Le Batard podcast, said this.
I felt going into the weekend before camp that I was 50-50. I don't care if people don't believe that. I mean, that's true. There were some things that got me to 50-50 for sure. And, I spent a couple of days in silence and meditation and contemplation and really felt like I should come back.
No, the problem is, Aaron, I do believe you. I do believe you could bail on your teammates. He tells the host, I don't care if people don't believe me. No, we all do. Tell me in a year, because Green Bay is going to control where he goes. Like, he has no control on where he goes. And if Jordan Love keeps getting better, next year Aaron Rodgers' salary cap hit is $46 million. Jordan Love's is $3 million. Now, if they get rid of Aaron, they'll still have to pay about like $20 million or so. Tell me in the NFL what coach wants to invest in a star player who's 50-50. No, that's not what anybody wants to invest in. Tom Brady is the opposite of Aaron Rodgers. He takes pay cuts. You have to drag him off the field. He always suppresses his opinion. To almost a fault, he's team guy over me guy. He's the best quarterback in league history. He had 4 suitors. Cam Newton was an MVP. He had 1 at a minimum salary. Aaron's talking retirement. He's had multiple injuries. He's expensive. He calls out his team. If he's trying to grow the market, this is not the way to do it. Folks, I can just tell you, I started a little company. I'm hiring a lot of young people. Why? Because they have energy. Because they can't wait to get to work. They don't sit around and worry all day about what they make. I wouldn't even consider hiring a human being who is like, I can come to work today, not. I'm going to do some meditation to see if I can. What a turnoff. Peyton Manning had 4 neck surgeries. You could not keep him off the field. He was furious when he was benched. The fact that John Elway asked him to take a